Rugged design meets dual-band GPS, 170 tracked workout modes and bunch of great features at a price which is easy on the pocket. Is Kospet Tank M3 Ultra the right for you? Let's inspect. Hey everybody, great to meet you. I'm the Tech Mishka, and today this is the piece of tech that we are going to talk about. It's M3 Ultra by the company Kospet, which apparently is here to stay, and they have been famous for their Android-based smartwatches. Yes, not Wear OS, but Android-based smartwatches. Very interesting. Now they switched to apparently rugged designs with exceptionally good battery endurance and tons of supposedly useful features. The trick with these features is that sometimes when it comes to prioritizing quantity over quality, it might be a tricky thing. And it very much depends on the point of view and the kind of implementation. That's why we're here, in order to highlight the drawbacks, the strong sides, and figure out whether that's a good choice for you. Before diving deeper in the sea of information and functions, let me clarify that this video has been sponsored by Kospet, but we have agreed that I'm still gonna highlight the drawbacks that I've discovered throughout the testing period. Together with the Tank M3 Ultra, they do release the Tank T3 Ultra with rounded display, and both of them have really a lot of things in common. Concerning the competition, it's not only about the less popular, smaller Chinese brands, but also easy to recognize models such as Huawei GT series, the Amazfit T-Rex, and even some sporty watches, given the ability to control this one via buttons as well. Unboxing experience has been exceeding the expectations, at least at the start. Stellar job about the presentation. There are so many facts that you can find out about the watch just by reading whatever is shown on the box. Execution, on the other hand, is a little flawed because you have to be patient in order to lift the cover up. Here's the watch. Solid, well built at the first sight. You're gonna have to mount the strap by yourself, which is nice because you get to learn about the quick release mechanism, and of course having a 22mm size means that you have plenty of aftermarket options. Kospet do you a big favor by providing a protective tempered glass. If you think of using it, make sure to install it as soon as you remove the factory folio. If you decide to not use it, you should be fine too, given the fact that the display is covered by Gorilla Glass 3. The bezel is made of stainless steel, the bottom area is made of polyamide and has this stainless steel plate on top. In terms of tech features, there are a lot of pieces to be excited about. The display is 1.96 inches, there is a 480 mAh battery, a dual-band GPS setup, speaker and microphone, advanced health tracking features, more than 170 workout modes. The watch is IP69K water resistant and weighs 75.4 grams. I think it is really important to give credits to Kospet about disclosing absolutely everything that we want to know about the technical specifications, something that many vendors are kind of trying to mask. For instance, we know that the system on a chip inside is by Actions Technology, and it's the same one that Redmi have deployed in their Watch 3 Lite series, so performance should be acceptable. We know all the details about the heart rate tracking sensors, the blood oxygen saturation tracking sensors. In a matter of fact, we are being told that this smartwatch can support up to 170 types of workouts and even track with precise GPS information, those of them which are performed outdoors. So quite many big promises, and that's why we make these reviews, in order to find out whether Kospet are kind of good at delivering what they promise the Tank M3 Ultra can actually do. Well, in terms of operating system, it's quite modest because the operating system inside is based on the famous RTOS, something which is back in most of the fitness trackers. It doesn't allow you to install any additional apps, but pays off with rather spectacular battery life. Speaking of the operating system, let me show you how to handle the navigation and all the features that this kind of OS can provide to us. Swipes and button presses are what lets you control the menus. Swipe down to check on the quick toggles, well customizable, and while the display has no auto brightness feature, the intensity levels are nicely accessible. Swipe up and you're going to see the summary card, very similar to what Amazfit's Zepp OS provides for their watches. It's a sneak peek of everything that the Tank M3 Ultra tracks and supports. Swipe left in order to check the notifications. While various alphabets are supported, the watch unfortunately doesn't let you send predefined responses and currently doesn't visualize any emojis. If you swipe right, you're gonna get to the apps list, something that you can also launch via the dedicated button at the top. The other button on the side is configurable, and I've adjusted it to open the workout modes. Tank M3 Ultra feels like the ultimate workout library, but still lacks some modes such as e-bike tracking. I think that those of you who prefer button-only navigation will quite appreciate the existence of the other two buttons, which are helping you to go up or down in the menus or the pages that you're reviewing, and over time, after I got used to it, it really feels good. Helps me to read any notification without having to apply touches, which can be quite helpful if you're using gloves in the winter or your hands are wet in the summer, or for navigating the watch underwater, because remember, it is well waterproof. The amount of apps is just standard. The health tracking parameters are a bit disappointing though. Blood oxygen saturation samples work in a similar way. The pedometer is somewhat more trustworthy. It shows accurate results based on my lifestyle and doesn't count while I'm driving or cycling. You can also track your sleep cycles. Despite the large size of the watch, I managed to keep it on my wrist, and in the summary, you're gonna find details about light and deep sleep duration as well as REM and awake times. Perhaps the best implemented feature out of all. From the productivity list, there's an app calling your voice assistant, which you can trigger from within the watch. There's a compass, a barometric altimeter, a calculator, and the usual timers. For the ladies, there's a women's health section to support their monthly menstrual cycles tracking. A calendar app is missing, though. The settings area is pretty interesting, and I strongly suggest you to check the details there, because by default, covering the display with PAM was doing nothing, and with most of other watches, it turns off the display. Looks like this feature is off by default. You can fine-tune some of the available parameters, switching the watch face. Most of them are quite specific and not that customizable. There's a watch face market inside the smartphone app, though. You can enable workout detection, always on display mode, and so on. Even a battery saver mode is present. Speaking of the battery, its endurance is quite fine. And this is another area where Kospet deliver on what they promise, because with AOD, it really lasts around 4 days when I use it with all the health tracking features on. If you use the wrist gesture to light up the screen in the few moments when you need it, then the battery life easily doubles or even triples its achievements. You can also make phone calls via the watch. These are relayed via your phone's Bluetooth, and it has worked well in my case. Could be a great deal for hikers who keep their phones in the backpack and still want to stay connected. Oh, and based on some testing and tinkering that I've done, looks like durability is there, and M3 Ultra might survive in some quite extreme conditions. There is of course a smartphone app to control the watch and visualize all the collected health data. It's called Kospet Fit, and the app looks significantly improved as compared to the last time I've tried it, which was kind of a year ago. Excellent way to show you summarized data about all the tracked health parameters. There's a workout card, and you can of course drill down to some previous exercises. Big disappointment to me was the GPS performance. It struggled to connect for more than a minute, and accuracy is sometimes a bit off. I hope to see a firmware update bringing in some improvements here. Because if it is accurate and responsive, many of the workouts are going to provide a lot of good data. Sadly, there is no integration to Strava or any other sports-related third-party services, but in the end, Tank M3 Ultra is not targeted as a sports watch. And since I feel we already are on the topic about the drawbacks, let me put together a list and mention the lack of auto brightness feature, the lack of actionable notifications, the jittery screen animations, there is no NFC for contactless payments, and no version supporting LTE for full autonomy. In the end, I'm kind of left with mixed feelings, because on one side, yeah, I totally enjoyed this rugged design, the nice display, all the nice features such as the compass, the barometer, the altimeter, the 170 tracked workouts. But if we dig deeper in the software ecosystem, if we look at the smartphone app, the user interface, there definitely are a lot more things that Kospet should work on and improve through software updates, including the overall GPS performance. But given this spectacular battery life and I would say pretty good display at this price point, that's an excellent value smartwatch that you can buy right now in 2024. At least that's my opinion. And I invite you to share yours in the comment section below the video. Should you want to grab the best deal for Tank M3 Ultra, then check the video description for more information. And thank you very much for watching this episode. Subscribe to the channel because a lot more cool tech inspections are coming. I'm the Tech Mishka and wish you a fantastic day. Bye.